Hello there and welcome to Mikkel and Roland Egesberg's Economic News. I'll just show you here. Mikkel and Roland Egesberg's Economic News. So, what am I going to tell you? Well, I have to admit I'm tired of the economic news on this planet. They don't behave as they should. When you see Bloomberg, instead of showing 100 to 10%, 100, we have some of them from 50 going to 110. Instead of showing from a scale from 0 to 110, they'll show from 50 to 110 or 120. They edit the charts and it looks like much higher growth then. It's just annoying. You have to show the whole entire chart to see the relativity between. You can't just take from 50 or 60 and then put it up to 110 and cut there. It's annoying. As we learned at Copenhagen Business School on first semester. But anyway, I said police also, some part of it. And there I learned that there's GDP, that's the economic production in a year within an economy. But this can be measured in two terms, either in current or real growth. Current is price times quantity, meaning that if you have an economy in 100 apples and the price is 10 in 1 year, and the next year the price goes up from 10 to 20, but there's still 10 apples on the tree, then the economy increased by 100% in current prices, because it's now going from 100 to 200. 10 apples times 10 kroner, 100 in the economy, 10 apples times $220, and times $20, $200 with what's going on. No extra production, just price going up. That is the current price, and that's what it must show. Then show the real interest rate demand, say, hey, what do we do then? How does one do that? Well, one have to say, well, keep the quantity fixed, and then we take the pricing, check them on them. But how do you measure TV that increases in functions? Our computer from 960 and whatever when they had a computer in the 1990s and a computer today, is that just one computer with that one home computer? How much is a new computer worth compared to a home computer in the 1990s? That's the question. That tells you how less passes and less pairs and Fisher index. When you take the log quantity of years and then the price is zero advance. But it's fishy. One would prefer real economic growth than one that goes on with production quantity and not in prices. Because you don't get richer because you raise the price where you make a shop. But society is not going to be richer and produce more just because if you have a shop owner and you raise the price from the 10 apples within the entire economy, and the price owner and the stock owner increase the price from $10 an apple to $20 an apple. 10 apples. It goes from 100, 10 times 10 to 10 times 20, and that's from 100 to 200 in price times quantity. And that's current current prices. This should be greater than current price. Real will just say no, nothing happened. 10 apples, still 10 apples. That's just real GDP, no growth. That's what you have to, and most people just say, hey, we have to show a really good economy. Well, there's a problem with that. Because prices just go up, you don't become richer. The company owner may get richer, but you're not getting richer on that account. I'm just trying to zoom up on the time screen on this one. Sorry, 2 minutes 30 seconds. The shop owner may get richer, but the economy, nothing happened, and you don't get any more apples with that account. It's just accounting rules. So you have to remember that. But what's going to happen then? Well, they say the US is the biggest, baddest economy out there, like the biggest economy in the world, the superpower, the democracy, cradle of democracy and all this shit. And I am so tired of listening to this bullshit. So, why am I paying attention to this? Well, I will see if I can find it now. Please. And now, so the GDP is gross domestic product equals consumption plus investment plus government spending plus export minus import. That's what you need. So, what is consumption? That's private consumption. Maybe you buy a car. Investment is investment for power plants, highways. Let's just say private highways then. Oh, you have to do it another way. and it's government spending plus export minus import. If you export, you increase GDP, you import, you decrease GDP. A high import can lead to zero GDP growth because you attract import from export, because it's not produced within the country. You have to subtract from your own GDP and say, hey, we bought 10 cars from China, we did not produce this in our local GDP, so we have to subtract this from the GDP, the money spent on Chinese cars. So what does it say? Well, there's a problem with this. You say you may have grown by 3% or 4% or 1%. Well, let me just show what's wrong with this one. So, I'm going to try to show what's wrong with this one. Yeah, I found, let me just go away. So, in this chart here, you see the US federal government deficit. Here, as a small deficit, surplus. In 2000, you had 200 million. Well, it fucks me all the time when you see that. Because in the year we use that as a 1,000 denominator, and the US use commas, so you have to be aware of that. It's quite annoying when you have to do these numbers. But anyway, 200 millions. And now it's down to like 3,000 billions, 2 trillions in deficit. This is the US federal government surplus deficit, how much money they have and how much is government taxes, T minus G, and it's a balance. And that goes to budget surplus deficit. Taxes minus government spending equals federal surplus or deficit. Surplus in 2000 now is down to like 3,000 billion, 3,132 billion in year 2020. What does that mean then? Well, I want to tell you the secret here. The US did not have growth in year 2020. Why? I just showed you before. Because if you increase the C, that's consumption might go up by 1 percentage point, 1 percentage point investment, export went up 2%, export minus 1 up by 1%, that's 2 percentage point total and then we have this one. Well, can I do it better then? What is the G? Now it's showing trillions here. You have to explain to us better, you say, yes, and I say, cool, I can do that. So I can do that. Cool, so let's see. I'll show you. So I'm just changing the charts. So this one shows the federal surplus deficit percent of gross domestic product. See, there was a surplus on a percent of gross domestic product. A surplus here in 2001. Can't get it through. So it's surplus down 1%. Then in 2003, deficit 2%. Then deficit 2%. Then 1.7. Then 1.1. Then deficit 9%, almost 10% of gross domestic product deficit that year. That means that if the United States of America, that means that the United States of America had a growth in 5% and the other ones, including export, and then you ask, what happened here? They could have it for all, let's just say C plus I plus C plus X minus M, they're all negative except G. They all fell. Let's say that it's fell by 1 percentage point each. What happens then if GDP goes up by percentage? Because you have to say the gross domestic product, federal surplus deficit percent of gross domestic product is T minus G, tax minus G, minus government spendings. In year 2020, the Americans spent 15% of their economic output more than they produced on government spending. Had they not done so, you should subtract 15% of GDP from the growth. That means that the USA might have had a growth on, if they had a balanced budget, the USA would have had a negative growth on around 10% perhaps. They wouldn't, they're 14.7% smaller. Had the United States not spent all this money in 2020, the gross domestic product would have been 14.6 percentage points smaller. I know what's right, and let's just see if I can find this. So what happens? This goes into debt. Let's see. This goes into debt. So what happened? The Americans have been increasing their federal debt as a percentage of GDP, increasing here from like in year 2002. The US had a federal debt percentage point of GDP as 55 percentage point. Then in 2008 it's at 60 percentage point. And now in 2020, after borrowing all this money, it's at a 133% of gross domestic product, the debt, because they spent all this government funding to increase the economic growth. Without this excessive spending, expansion from a fiscal policy, the US would have had a much smaller economy. The only great reason there's growth in the United States of America is because they increase the federal budget to spend 15% of GDP more extra than would have spent otherwise, but borrowing money. It's like, let's just say it's like me having private consumption. I have a house, I have a salary, let's just say I have a salary of $100 a day. So they say, well now I can spend $100. Then I say, hey, I want to spend more. And the bank say, hey, sure, we'll loan you $100 more a day. And I think, cool. And then my neighbor says, a girl next door says, hey, are you cool? How much do you earn? Well, let's just say that I have $200 in my account for each day. Am I rich or what, motherfucker? Am I rich or motherfucking what? Am I badass motherfucker? I have $200 each day. And the bank said, a good spending, so they had a nice car and a nice lady and kids coming and shit. They said, hey, he's going to have a good economy. He's going to get a promotion. We give him a loan on $900 a day. So he can increase his consumption. Cool, I'll say then, and I'll say, hey, now I'll go to the neighbor and say, the neighbor find another one. The neighbor next to have a Saturn Chi on, and I said, hey, what the fuck is going on? What's he to me? What's that? Has Saturn Chi on? Well, I can beat that. I have a daily budget of $1,000. A daily income of $1,000. I earn 100, but the bank lends me $900 a day to make excessive spending. I spend fiscal policies, private policies there. And I say, I'm better than that shit. I'm big bad motherfucker. I have $1,000 to spend each day. How do you like that, apple, motherfucker? And she says, I love you, Mary, boy. I'm gonna marry you. And that's what the Americans are doing with the creditors on this planet, with the economists of this planet. This is what's going on. And I say, hey, what the fuck is going on? You can't just keep increasing the debt. So the Americans smart, they say, we don't want to be more indebted. Let's find another way. And what did they do? They increase the monetary supply. They increase the monetary supply. The Americans say, hey, they increase the monetary supply. So, in the year 2009, this monetary supply was less than less than 1 CR. Monetary base, that's coins, papers, notes, shit like that. money, real money, cash, coins, notes, bills, $100 bills, and they increased it. Oh shit. And they increased it 6 times since 2009. Then since 2008, 6 times. This is monetary base today. It's now 5 or 6 times monetary base. So you say, how's it real? Why? So they have more cash, but it's getting worse than that, because if you take a loan and you lend the money out, if my neighbor makes an income, makes he made $200, my neighbor made $200 a day. So what does he do? His wife, he saves his money. He put them in the bank and the bank says, hey, great, now we have $200. Cool. We'll lend it to his neighbor. And he's cool, and I have $200 and he spends it. And then the shepherd he spends and put that inside the bank account. So here, $200. Put that in the bank account for us, and the bank says, cool, we're going to lend this money out again, and they'll lend to another one, and he puts the money into his bank account, $2 again to loan out. And then monetary base from M2 becomes M1, the money here. And that's what's going on. The money M1 have become lent out so many times that it's no more money. Money is debt. So now it's gone up in 2020. Boom, the monetary supply was just increased by more than 5 times. Boom. 5 times increase in monetary supply because they lend. It goes to the monetary base. It's called, what's it called? Fractional reserve banking. And you have a monetary base, and you say, if I have $100, how much can that be lent out? If I have put it that the reserve currency, the banks have to have 50% into the national account, into the national bank, the ECB or FED, Federal Reserve Bank. And this federal bank is that's one of the offices. 8 or 12 banks in the United States on the Fed. But if they put it in, say they have to put half of them into the bank and then store them there, they can only loan out half of the money. They can only have 50 out, and then they can only loan half of the 50 out. That's 25. So it becomes 10 divided by 0.5. That's double. That's 20 in all. The M1 monetary supply. Then right now, the United States of America moved the monetary base. Reserve requirements. There is no requirement. $100 can become infinite depending on how many times you learn out. There's no backing, no gold standard, no nothing. It's just boom. If somebody starts a running man on this shit, it's down. Boom. And that's the monetary base. Let me see what I have. And there's monetary base. Boom. $2 trillion successful spending in 2020. Boom. It's just wild. That's what's going on. This creates inflation. More money chases some amount of goods, and your prices are going up. If there's an island with 2 persons on an island, and the two coconuts, one producer who picks them, and the 2 others have coins, have dollars because they had some from a shipwreck, and they say, hey, I have dollars. Cool. I accept your dollars because I know they're worth money. And one of them say, hey, I'm willing to buy a 2 coconut for $10 each, and the other one doesn't have one. He only have 5. He can't get them. But then suddenly he finds a lot of money, and he says he found $100, and he say, I'm willing to buy your coconuts now. Can we share them? No. You paid $10 before that. I'll pay you $50, 25%, $25 per coconut. Who gets a coconut now? You want $25 one who used to pay $10. There are only 2 coconuts on the planet. Because more money increases the money supply, the price goes up, and not production, but its price, more money changes in goods. It's money times velocity equals price times quantity. The monetary supply, which we saw here, times velocity of the circulation money, equals prices times quantity. So you increase the monetary supply by 100%, and we kept constant velocity like ATM machines, our 20 teller machines, ATM machines increasing. But if you increase the monetary supply and these constant, then at the private money goes, price go up and quantity or one of them down. But mostly we see perhaps quantity goes up by a little and then price also, or just prices, depending on you see long, short, and short-term money. So that's what's going on. That's why your prices are going up, because of money printing. Quantitative easing Q2, but I can make this shit. Quantitative easing Q2, look it up. Boom, this is the money that's out there chasing the same shit. This is what's creating inflation. The American fiscal policy, and they can only do it because they have oil in cash, oil in dollars, petrodollar, reserve status requirement. But the big countries are saying, fuck this shit, we don't want you to print money and export inflation to us and buy the oil for the price because we want you to print more money. We can't compete with that, so now we're going to make our own currency. And we hope we doesn't become like Saddam was killed because we start trading euros. Amen. What can I say to you now? Let's just see. And there you have it. Million oil splash news. That's what's going on in the world we live in today. Excessive money supply, quantitative easing, and a huge expansion of fiscal policy in the United States of America on almost 16% of GDP in the year 2020. This is great inflation. Borrowing money, printing money, the whole shit. That can't keep on. The monetary supply goes up and the debt goes up, and it can't keep on forever. The United States of America is in drugs, and soon the hangovers are going to come because they can't keep doing this shit. The debt is only going up 100% GDP, and the money supply is creating inflation. It can't be done. Soon there will be no stimulus spending, and then the US economy is going to crash. It's a economy steroids, and it's going to have a heart attack very soon. That's just my thoughts about this. Meanwhile, he's back. CBI on 2002-82-2361. Danish ID tag. So the CIA know, and the NSA knows where to find me. Should I need help or perhaps end my miserable life. Amen.